Phillips joining us again this morning on Studio 10. David, good to see you as always.
Glad to be here.
All right, today we're talking about something that unfortunately too many people find themselves in this type of situation. They're in an auto accident, they're injured, but they do not have health insurance. David, where do they go from there?
Well, that's a very common problem that we have in our society because of the economic conditions. Most people have jobs, but sometimes people have lost their jobs and they've lost their medical care. So what happens in an accident, they just don't know what to do.
Right.
The great thing about Alabama is we have a hospital lien statute, which means if you're involved in an accident, you can go to the hospital, they have to care for you, and they'll simply file a lien at probate court. That's not something to be concerned about because if you have a case, then that lien can be taken care of out of the proceeds of the case.
So your advice is go to the hospital, get checked out.
Always go to the hospital, make sure you're okay. As we talk about, if you're not okay, that's not a good thing.
Right.
You want to make sure you're taken care of.
Now there's something called a letter of protect. David, what is that?
Well, that's something that an attorney can do for you. If you hire a personal injury law firm, and we always advise for people to hire a firm that handles exclusively personal injury cases.
Okay.
We believe that that's the type of lawyers, and they're great lawyers in Mobile. We're not saying they're not, but we want to make sure that when we talk about cases, we want to make sure that people hire personal injury lawyers that focus solely on personal injury. And so in that situation, you have lawyers that deal with certain providers and have maybe a relationship, or maybe they've dealt with those providers before. Those providers will allow those law firms to actually provide a letter of protection or a letter of guarantee so their bill will be paid.
And all these things are so important because if you find yourself in a situation where you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in hospital bills, it could bankrupt you for your entire life. You could never recover from something like that.
That's exactly right. And that's the reason that you want to make sure that you get a personal injury law firm that handles this type of case, your type of case, that can make sure they maximize the value of your case.
Well, like I said at the beginning, unfortunately, many people do find themselves in a situation like that. So if you're one of these people, and if you have any questions, feel free, of course, to contact David Green and his friends over at Green & Phillips. Thanks a lot, David.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.